Assalamualaikum and I wish you a very good day today. My name is Irika Shawali and this is my group members. Now, let's get started. First of all, I'm going to explain Durrah Ltd's liquidity performance. As you can read here, according to HIS 2025, a liquidity ratio is a financial metric used to assess a company's ability to meet its short-term debt obligations using its liquid assets. In liquidity ratio, we have current ratio and quick ratio. Let's start with the current ratio, also known as the working capital ratio. It is a popular tool to evaluate short-term solvency position of a business, where it refers to the ability of a business to pay its short-term obligation when they become due. The company has current assets of 2,050,000 ringgit and current liabilities of 575,000. That gives us a current ratio of 3.75 times, meaning Durrah Ltd has 3 ringgit 75 cents for every 1 ringgit it owes. This shows the company is in a safe position when it comes to short-term obligations. Now, let's look at the quick ratio, also called the asset ratio. This one is trickier because it only considers the most liquid assets like cash, receivable, and short-term investment, excluding inventory. Why? Because inventory might take time to sell, and we want to know what can we turn into cash first. For Durrah Ltd, the quick ratio is 1.4 times, which means the company has 1 ringgit and 40 cents in quick assets for every 1 ringgit of short-term debt. First, the current ratio. Durrah has a ratio of 3.75 times, while the industry average is 4.3 times. This means Durrah is slightly below the industry when it comes to overall current assets, but still strong enough to cover short-term debts. For quick ratio, Durrah is doing better here with 1.4 times compared to the industry's 0.97 times. This shows that Durrah is more efficient in managing liquid assets and can pay off short-term liabilities without relying on inventory.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Nur Amira binti Abiruddin and I'll be presenting question 2. To obtain a historical analysis of Durrah Limited's current performance, we must use asset management ratios, which are inventory turnover, day sales outstanding, fixed asset turnover, and also total asset turnover. Asset management ratios, also known as asset efficiency or turnover ratios, assesses how effectively a company uses its assets to generate revenue. Firstly, inventory turnover measures how many times the firm restocks. Secondly is day sales outstanding, which explains how fast the firm can collect its debt. Thirdly is fixed asset turnover. This measures how effective the firm uses fixed asset to generate sales. And lastly is total asset turnover. This measures how effective the firm uses total assets to generate sales. In 2024, Durrah Limited's inventory turnover ratio increased from 4.36 times in 2023 to 5.01 times. This improvement indicates that the company managed its inventory more efficiently, selling and replacing stock more frequently. A higher inventory turnover typically reflects stronger demand for products or better stock control, both of which are positive signs for operational performance. The day sales outstanding also showed slight improvement, dropping from 35 days in 2023 to 34 days in 2024. This suggests that Durrah Limited has become marginally more efficient in collecting its receivables. Faster collections improve cash flow and reduce the risk of bad debts, which can strengthen the company's financial stability. However, the fixed asset turnover ratio declined significantly from 6.2 times in 2023 to 4.0 times in 2024. This shows that the company generated less revenue from its fixed asset like property, plant, and equipment. It could indicate an underutilization of production capacity or recent investments that have not yet been optimized for sales generation. This is a negative trend that suggests inefficiency in capital asset usage. Similarly, the total asset turnover ratio decreased from 5.1 times in 2023 to 3.9 times in 2024. This means that overall, Dura Limited used its total assets less efficiently in 2024 compared to the previous year. Such a drop might be caused by increased asset holdings not being matched with revenue growth or operational inefficiencies that need to be addressed.
Hello, my name is Amal Zainab binti Azman. So basically, this is a historical analysis of Dura Ltd's current performance. In 2024, Dura Ltd underperformed compared to its competitors, Embun CO and Flatswell Corp. Across all key efficiency ratios, its inventory turnover was 5.01 times lower than Embun's 6.22 and Flatswell is 5.89, indicating less efficient inventory management. Dura also took significantly longer to collect receivable with a days sales outstanding DSO of 34 days compared to 26 days for Embun and 20.3 days for Flatswell. Additionally, Dura fixed asset turnover stood at 4 times, well below Embun's 7.03 and Flatswell is 7.6, suggesting weaker utilization of fixed asset. And lastly, Dura total asset turnover was 39 times, trailing both Embun at 66.4 and Flatswell at 5.3, reflecting less effective use of overall asset. Despite any improvements from 2023, is Dura Ltd keeping up with Embun CO and Flatswell Corp? No. While Dura Ltd improved in most areas from 2023 to 2024, it is still underperforming compared to both competitors in inventory management, receivable collection, and asset utilization. Why? Dura Ltd is underperforming compared to its competitors in inventory management, receivable collection, and asset utilization because it takes longer to sell its inventory, meaning more money is tied up in stock. The company also takes more time to collect payment from customers, which affects its cash flow. Additionally, Dura is not using its assets as effectively to generate sales, showing lower overall efficiency than Embun CO and Flatswell Corp.
There are two recommendations of strategic areas to enhance Dura Limited's asset management performance, which are firstly to optimize fixed asset usage. Dura Limited experienced a decline in its fixed asset turnover ratio from 6.2 times in 2023 to 4.0 times in 2024. This suggests that the company is not using its fixed assets, such as property, plant, and equipment, as efficiently to generate revenue as it did previously. Dura Limited should review its existing assets to identify underperforming or underutilized assets. Strategies like leasing idle machinery, selling off obsolete equipment, or consolidating production processes could enhance efficiency. Upgrading to more productive or automated machinery can also help increase output without significantly increasing fixed asset costs. The second suggestion is to improve total asset utilization. The total asset turnover ratio for Dura Limited fell from 5.1 times in 2023 to 3.9 times in 2024. This indicates that the company is generating less revenue per dollar of total assets. To address this, Dura Limited should analyze its entire asset structure and identify areas where operational improvements can be made. Implementing better inventory management system, reducing unnecessary expenditures, and integrating digital solutions like ERP systems can increase operational transparency and coordination. By streamlining operations and ensuring each asset contributes effectively to revenue, the company can enhance overall asset efficiency.
Hello, my name is Siti Nordana, and now I will explain about question number 3. What is debt management ratio? The debt management ratio shows how well a company uses and controls its debt. It helps measure the company's ability to pay back its debt and whether it is borrowing too much or just enough. Debt management ratio have 3 categories, which are debt ratio, debt to equity ratio, and time interest earned. Debt ratio. The debt ratio is a financial metric that shows the proportion of a company assets that are financed through debt. It helps assess a company's financial leverage and risk level. To assess the health of Dura Ltd debt management in 2024, we use the formula total debt divided by total asset. 1,475,000 divided by 4 million equals to 37%. This means 37% of Dura Ltd's total assets are financed through debt, indicating a moderate use of financial leverage. Next, debt to equity ratio. The debt to equity ratio is a financial metric that compares a company's total debt to its total equity. It shows how much a company is financing its operation through debt versus shareholder equity. The formula for debt to equity ratio is total debt divided by total equity. 1,475,000 divided by 2,425,000 equals to 58%. This means that for every RM of shareholder equity that Dura Ltd has invested in the business, it has taken on RM 0.58 cent in debt, indicating a balanced approach to financing where the company is using both its own fund and borrow money to support its operation and growth. Now, time interest earned. The time interest earned ratio means to measure a company's ability to make its interest payment using its earnings before interest and tax. The formula for time interest earned is EBIT divided by interest expenses. 760,000 divided by 60,000 equals to 12.67. This indicates that Dura Ltd earns 12.67 times more than its annual interest expense, showing strong ability to meet interest obligation. The importance of healthy debt for the long-term continuity and sustainability of Dura Ltd. My first point is ensure financial stability and liquidity. Good debt management is important to keep Dura Ltd financially stable. By not borrowing too much, the company can make sure it has enough money to pay for salary, bills, supplier, and loan payment. This lowers the risk of running out of money even if sales go down for a while and help the business run smoothly. It also makes the company look more trustworthy to bank and investors. If Dura Ltd manages its debt well, it can borrow more easily and at lower interest rates. But if it handles debt poorly, lenders may lose trust, charge higher interest, or stop lending, which can hurt the business, according to Houston 2024. My second point is support sustainable growth and investment. Good debt management helps Dura Ltd grow safely and steadily. By carefully planning when and how to use borrowed money, the company can fund big projects like launching new product or entering new market without hurting its financial health. If borrowing costs are low and the company makes good profit, using them can be a smart move for growth, while use of debt ensures future growth doesn't cause financial problems, helping the company stay flexible and able to make smart decisions. Over time, this financial discipline helps Dura Ltd grow steadily, attract investors, and stay competitive, according to Houston 2024.